Right now with my own personal knife, so apologies for how dirty it is. But effectively you have two screws holding the knife together, the pivot and the backspacer / clip. So it's holding the clip in, and you're gonna need a T8. And so I'm gonna take this out first. It's gonna be cranked on pretty good because there's only one of them holding the whole back end together. And then one of the things to note is there is a little pin, 16th inch pin, that can fall out. It's meant to be loose so you can anodize this. This pin is made out of stainless right now, so it has to be removable. Okay, now that I've got that out, what I typically like to do is maybe take a stack of paper or something. What I'm doing is I'm leveling this. Think of it as the thickness of the scale underneath. Now I'm going to take my T10 and pop this guy open. And I'm keeping pressure with my left hand on here because the lock bar wants to push. Okay, so I've got it loose and I'll swing it, careful of the sharp edge, and swing it open to get the lock scale off. So part of the reason I'm doing this disassembly is to show you how to take your T8 again and swap the lock insert. So we're getting in there and using my left finger to keep it from flying away, and I dropped it down. So this lock insert is replaceable, and if you need a new one, please email me if you own the knife. But effectively you can change the lockup as well as the detent by swapping out this insert. So there are washers, just to be clear, and just so you can see the disassembly real quick. The pivot is captive, but it will fall out. So I usually use a little piece of blue tape and throw it on there just so that the pivot stays in. I make sure I have my washer, put my skiff bearing back in there. This is the part where I try to be careful because the blade is typically very sharp. Stick it back on. Make sure my washer is on top. And then I'm making sure that this pin is going through the backspacer, nice and secure there. And again, your backspacer will be much bigger than this one. I need to put my lock insert back in. So the way to know that it's the right way is you should be able to see that little white ball. And I'm going to take my left forefinger here, pulling it downwards in this direction, and then taking my T8, screwing it back in, torquing it pretty good. And then I like to just gently set it here and make sure that I've got everything I need. So I'm going to make sure this is ready to go. And that way, when I push down and I hear it kind of snap in the front and the back, I'm ready to turn it in there. And then I'm snugging it usually by just holding on to the green part as hard as I can. All right, now I can shut the knife. Make sure my pin goes back into the clip first. And then what I'm doing is I'm holding it upside down to keep the pin from falling out. Get it in there, and then very carefully rotating it, lifting the clip up a little bit so it doesn't drag on the lock scale, because it will be a little bent to give it some pre-tension from the factory. Now I've got my screw here, again with my T8. All right, and then once I get the clip where I want it, because it does have a little bit of play in it, I'm gonna take it and crank it the rest of the way. All right, and then I'm checking for center. So if your center is a little close to the lock side, you can always loosen this just a hair, and that'll typically bring it back this way. Now, then you're checking for blade play, and we're all good to go. So anyway, that's kind of the long version of how to swap out the lock insert. And if you guys have any questions, please email me, jt@everburn.store. Thank you.